Welcome to my top 5 most hated One Piece characters. Now these characters are categorized by two different things. Like, they're mainly picked out because either A, they're supposed to be hated and it's a good thing that they're hated because they're written to be hated, or B, they basically are hated for the wrong reasons and they're not supposed to be hated, but you hate them anyway. And without further ado, let's jump into it, baby. So coming in at number 5 is an entire race of motherfuckers, and I'm talking about a race of little guys, people that we recently seen in one of the previous arcs of One Piece. The Tontattas, the little Tontattas, the Tontos. These motherfuckers, the reason why they came in number 5 and they're pretty much just like, is that they disrupted the plot of one of the major arcs in this new world so much for irrelevant nonsense that it was just a travesty. And I know that there's probably a few Tontatta fans out there, but I hate to break it to you, they are one of the reasons why Dressrosa isn't as great as it should have been. Their involvement in the arc, them constantly coming in and getting chapter upon chapter of their existence, like literally the Tontatta's existence is what ruins them itself. Like, they have no purpose, yet they covered time and time again screen time in One Piece and wasted week after week of us having to see them. Like, aside from Mancherry, they really serve no purpose. And I guess later on down the road, hopefully they might have some development because they're supposed to be a part of Luffy's big old army, so down the road they could be something great. As right now, they were a waste of time and they took up way too much screen time. They shouldn't have even existed, and if they did, they should have been background characters, not constantly being involved in the main plot. Coming in at number 4, Foxy. Foxy's arc in general is arguably one of the least interesting and one of the worst arcs in One Piece, simply because it added nothing to the story. It didn't give any positive, it didn't give any development, it literally just existed for the sake of existing. It was a fun arc in a sense, like you had a laugh or two and it gave birth to Afro Luffy, but in the grand scheme of things, Foxy was basically in canon filler to the manga, baby, and there's no denying it. Like, even the most hardcore One Piece fan cannot tell you that they adore and absolutely love the Foxy arc, because they'd be lying. Like, the Foxy arc, there's nothing really to love about it other than a couple jokes, because it really doesn't add anything to the grandioso scheme of One Piece. Not to mention, Foxy was just weak as hell, so even as a final antagonist, because I wouldn't even call Foxy a villain, just antagonist, he really wasn't much. I mean, he has a cool technique, but he was an idiot. He was too stupid to really utilize it in a proper manner. Coming in at number 3 is a character that you hate him for two different reasons. You hate him because he's supposed to be hated, but then you also hate him for the wrong reasons. Hody Jones from Fishman Island. He was basically the main villain of Fishman Island. He was this racist piece of shit, responsible for taking out one of the leaders of Fishman Island and stuff like that. But Hody Jones, one of the things about him is that you hate the fact that he's this racist scumbag. He can't stand humans because he's seen what they are, and you know, when he ventured up, he's seen that humans are scumbags, so you hate him in a sense that he's supposed to be hated. He's racist and he's an asshole and shit like that. But then at the same time, you also hate the fact that you come into New World, or you're not exactly at New World, but after the One Piece time skip, you come in and he's supposed to be the main villain, and for starters, he gets his ass kicked by not even the main guy, Luffy. He loses to Zoro and has to take steroids to try and give Luffy a proper fight, and Luffy busts his ass too. He really wasn't a big threat, he wasn't anything special, and that's why you gotta hate Hody as well. Not only because, you know, you hate him for the right reasons, you hate him for the wrong reasons, because he was weak and really didn't put much of a fight up. Had this been before the time skip, who knows, maybe he actually would have been a credible threat, but since they had that power up and Luffy trained and everything, there was really no fight to be had with Hody Jones, and that's why he's hated. Not to mention that he just kind of wasn't the best start for a time skip. You know, he really was just a racist fish. Coming in at number 2 is a villain that you can only hate him for all the right reasons, and that's Spandam. Everything about that scumbag you gotta hate, from him dragging Robin around to him being a cocky piece of shit when in reality you know he ain't shit. Spandam, when he was around in the Water 7 arc and Enies Lobby and all that stuff, you know you hated Spandam because he was an asshole. Not only did he look like a jerk, he acted like a jerk, everything he did was a jerk, and he thought he was on top of things when he was running CP9, but in fact he was a weakling piece of shit, and that's the way you're supposed to feel about him. You're supposed to hate him. He's one of the most all-time scumbags deserving of the worst death in One Piece because of what he did. And that leaves number 1. Now, to be honest with you, it's a tie at number 1, and again, this tie is of two characters that you're supposed to hate. You're supposed to. The right reasons are there. There's really no reason to hate them because of contradictions or anything of that nature, and that's Blackbeard and Akainu, baby. Blackbeard and Akainu, two both responsible for the deaths of Ace and Whitebeard, so you already hate them. Like, these motherfuckers, they made me hurt, they made me sad, they made me cry. But then look at Blackbeard. He's a despicable piece of shit. He's nasty, he's just disgusting. Everything about him, breaking people out of prison so he could do things, tricking motherfuckers. Like, you know, he pretty much was the catalyst to Ace getting captured and everything that happened to Ace and Luffy's trauma and stuff like that. So that's one of the major reasons they hate him. And then Akainu was the final blow, you know, impaling Ace through the back and stuff like that. So obviously you gotta hate both of them for the right reasons. And that's one of the things I think about One Piece, and I looked at this list opposed to almost every other series. The villains that you hate, or the people that you hate in general in this series, is mainly due to the right reasons because they're written that way. So that's a plus as well. And with all that being said, let me know what you guys think. Who do you think I've missed out on? Do you think that there's somebody on the list that should have been taken out? Did you agree with it? What's going on there? And your overall thoughts of these One Piece hated characters. I mean, you gotta love it because you hate them for the right reasons. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.